A lot of beginners worry about getting into voiceovers because they think it's going to cost a huge amount of money. They think, oh, well, I've got to get myself some very expensive gear, and if I don't, I won't get anywhere because I'll be competing with all these studios and all these established voice actors who have thousands of pounds worth of equipment. And it simply isn't true. You can start off very cheaply indeed. In fact, you can start out at under £100 with a microphone. Let me show you how. I was looking around the other day for mics under £100, mics that would be very good quality and you could use to start your voiceover career. Now, there is something called a Blue Yeti, which a lot of people use, but that's at around £120, so sort of breached my £100 threshold. And I was thinking, what could I possibly find? And then I decided, well, I'm going to look closer to home. And I realised that a mic that I've been using for the best part of 7 or 8 years is still priced at under 100. And it's this one. It's an MXL Tempo. Like I say, I've had this a long time. In fact, you can tell I've had it a long time. If you just have a look there, you can possibly see some old paint splodges that I've got on there doing some decorating, and it's obviously splashed on there. And it's had a bit of a rough life. You know, I've knocked it over. I've done all sorts of things with it and treated it probably badly. I didn't mean to, but, you know, these things happen over the years. And yet it's still kept going. And it's got a lovely, crisp, clean sound. In fact, if you've ever seen any of my other videos, you'll notice that in some of them, I'm using it. And it sounds great. It's really, really good. It's a USB mic, so it plugs straight into your computer. You don't need a separate box, you don't need any cable or anything that comes with it. It even came with a little stand, which I've since lost, or it broke, or one of the legs fell off or something. And so it's, in my opinion, is really good to get going with. And it costs, actually, do you know what? I'm not sure what it costs. I'm sure I paid about £70 or £80 for it all those years ago, but it's probably gone up since. So let's take a look at Amazon and see what it's selling at the moment. Here we go on Amazon, and it's here, the MXL Tempo USB microphone, black and red. I think they only do one colour now. When I bought it, you could buy lots of different colours, so I went for the silver one, but now it looks like you can only get the red and black one. And it's retailing at £90 and 88 pence. Does that include delivery? Not quite sure. I think it's free delivery if you're a Prime member. Not sure how much that would be, but it's only a small mic anyway, so it wouldn't be too expensive to package. And it's USB 1.1 and USB 2 compatible, built-in high-fidelity headphone jack. That's right, you've got one of those round the other side. If I can just find that on here. There we go. So if you look there, you've got the headphone jack and a little light to show you that the mic is recording. And there's the nice red grille. Rather a stylish mic. You don't really see anything like it, actually. So definitely under £100. Like I say, I don't think you can get the silver one now, which is a great shame because I think this was actually the best one. It was sort of an understated colour. But I assume it's pretty much the same circuitry inside, the same components and so on. It'll give you the same quality. And if you haven't heard it before, let me just do an A-B comparison. So bear in mind, this is a USB mic, and they're sometimes frowned upon by sound engineers. But I think some USBs are really good, and they're great starter mics and can really kickstart your voiceover career. So I'm going to do an A-B test. I'm going to compare this mic with my main mic, which is an Audio-Technica 4050. So we're comparing something that's under £100 with something that's about £500-600, and let's see if we can spot the difference. This is the sound of the USB MXL Tempo, the USB MXL Tempo mic, and this is what it sounds like. Now this is the sound of the Audio-Technica 4050. The Audio-Technica 4050. This is what it sounds like, and it's an XLR mic, the Audio-Technica 4050. Now, I do think there is a difference, a couple of differences that I picked up on, and that is in fidelity to start with. So the Audio-Technica just has that finesse and that detail, doesn't it, that the MXL Tempo doesn't. And also you may have noticed, especially if you're listening on headphones, you may have noticed that there was some slight hiss, white noise with the MXL mic. And that's because USB mics, because of the way they process, they've got a little USB plug on the end of them, and they go straight into your computer. And USB mics do tend to have this issue with sort of background noise. You can get rid of it using a program such as Audacity, but it's still kind of there and you have to treat it. Whereas the Audio-Technica mic is an XLR, and I was using a preamp with that. And that was a Steinberg UR12 preamp. So you have to buy something else with it to make it work, because the XLR plug won't go straight into your computer. But all things being equal, I was comparing a mic that costs, well, less than £100 and a mic that is £500-600. And plus you can't just use that Audio-Technica mic on its own. Like I say, you've got to buy an interface with it as well, so that's extra, there's another £100 on top. So you're talking about £700 worth of gear versus £90 worth of gear. And I think really, if you're just starting out, something like the MXL Tempo, this hidden treasure that nobody has ever heard of, would be a great start. Now, I don't know how long they're going to make these for. I suspect that they may be coming to the end of their line. But MXL is a great company. It's actually part of Marshall. The Marshall amps? It's actually the same company, but it's their MXL mic brand. So it's got a good heritage behind it. And I think it's a good alternative to other USB mics, particularly a good alternative to the Blue Yeti, and might be well worth considering. What I'll do is I'll put a link to the Amazon page with it on in the description underneath. All right, well, thanks very much for watching today. Look after your voice. Do please get started with voiceovers. There should be nothing holding you back. Just go for it. You don't need a load of gear. It's really about being motivated, putting your hand in your pocket, spending a few pounds, and getting started in that voiceover career. All right, thanks very much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the comparison, and see you next time. Look after your voice.